Hi everybody, Nomind here, welcome to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be discussing the newly announced PoE League called Trials of the Ancestors, coming to PC on August 18th and then consoles on August 23rd. In today's video, we're just going to go over what we kind of know so far and what GGG has revealed to us. So let's get started. Alright, so let's dive right into the changes that have been revealed to us so far. So basically, Path of Exile, Trials of the Ancestors, they're saying in this expansion you will visit the PoE Afterlife and defeat the 10 tribes in a series of tournaments to earn valuable new rewards. Basically, the things that are going to be introduced in this league, 16 new Atlas Keystones, reworks of the Guardian and Chieftain Ascendancy classes, which is very exciting. Ascendancy reworks are very sometimes they can be kind of just like but I think this rework is going to be pretty exciting, especially the Chieftain Ascendancy rework. I'm very excited about, and 14 new support gems and the return of a fan favorite past league, the Forbidden Sanctum. So let's say for some reason this league doesn't scratch the itch for a lot of people. PoE leagues can sometimes be hit or miss depending on how the gameplay feels and everything like that. And honestly, I'm not sure about this league yet, but I'm very optimistic. Honestly, at this point, I think anything will be better than the Crucible mechanic from last league, or I guess this current league that's going on. So I'm cautiously optimistic. The Forbidden Sanctum was a fan favorite league. I loved it, and I know a lot of other PoE players who loved it as well. So very excited to see that return. And yeah, basically right here, you're going to journey to the PoE Afterlife. Basically, you're going to participate in the Trials of the Ancestors, which is like a tournament. Basically, you will kind of form your own tribe, and it'll be like an auto battler type situation where your pieces will battle another tribe pieces, and if you win, you probably get a reward of some kind, and we're going to talk about the rewards a little down the line here. And basically, and it's saying in the last league, use tradable silver coins to gain passage to the PoE Afterlife. You'll start out with the basic team of 3 PoE warriors to enter the Trial of the Ancestors, and basically in each match you can select which tribe to compete against based on the rewards offered. You can examine the battlefield configuration of the enemy team, strategically place your warriors to challenge theirs. Then you and your party will compete alongside your warriors to destroy the opposing team's totems and win the match. So basically, it kind of sounds like Dota a little bit, right? You have like towers, totems. I'm not sure exactly how it's going to work out. Basically, you're going to have like a main structure of the opposing teams that you're trying to kind of destroy using your auto battler pieces, and it looks like you're going to be one of the pieces in the combat. So I'm not sure exactly how that's going to work, but yeah, we'll find out together. When you compete in these tournaments, you'll accumulate favor with each of the tribes. This can be spent on recruiting warriors and purchasing field items and equipment to power up your team. Each tribe has its own specialties, and you can mix and match warriors from different tribes to build a team that embodies your strategy. This sounds pretty cool, and they have a couple of screenshots here. Like I said, this is probably like the warriors you can probably select from. This is probably your side. This is the enemy side, and again, you have some equipment here. Very excited to see what this will do in the future. And then there's another screen here. Basically, you have favors, which are basically like temporary buffs. This one called Tidal Wave Idol casts a tidal wave which rolls forward, crashing on the first enemy it hits. So very hard to tell exactly what it does. It just sounds like a big wave, so we'll see what that does in the future, I guess. And yeah, and we have a big ball of water, ice, something. So again, not a lot of information here. UI pretty much looks very similar. There's this UI right here. This is probably like the new league UI interface. Very exciting. This is the exciting part. This is some of the rewards that you can get. Basically, they're advertising it as you can tattoo your skill points on your skill tree passives. So basically, like this one right here replaces a small strength passive skill, and it grants you, instead of strength, +8 to fire resistance. Basically, it replaces the strength, so you probably want to make sure you have all your stats correctly. So like, if you can't afford to lose any more strength, this is probably not a useful modifier for you. They have other more powerful ones, like for example, this one replaces a small strength passive skill. It grants level 20 summon spirit of Utula on taking a savage hit from a unique enemy. Limited 1 loyal tattoo. So it looks like you can only have 1 loyal tattoo, and this is like So this a loyal tattoo is like a better tier version of just like these normal ones. And then basically this one is more exciting. Replaces dexterity with movement speed. Who doesn't love movement speed? Path of Exile, Path of Exile 1, I guess I should clarify, is a game where you got to move fast. Efficiency is everything, right? And then this one right here is pretty interesting too, like for aura stacking builds. Not aura stacking, just int stacking or whatever stacking. Just adding a little. It doesn't even have to be like a basic standing. You can just basically this one adds grants adds 1 to 7 lightning damage, and then this one right here increase mana reservation efficiency of skills. Which is interesting. This is replaces a small attribute, so this can be used on dexterity, intelligence, or strength, which is very interesting. And this seems very powerful just kind of looking at it. Mana reservation efficiency is always like a very strong thing to have because it enables a lot of other things. You can fit a lot more ores into your build, etc. This one right here, 30 replaces 30 int notable passes with +1 to all int skill gems. +1 to int skill gems is very powerful because usually int skill gems scale very well with levels because they're usually like int skill gems that are like spellcaster skill gems and just naturally just the way the game works. Any plus skill gems you have. Any additional level to like a skill gem that you manage to gain through gear or passive skills. New items called omens. They do very interesting things. So let's take a look at this one here. Basically on death, this omen is consumed and a portal to town is created. So these omens, this one right here, basically it's saying if you die, you return to town safely. Like this omen is destroyed basically when you would be destroyed, I think. And then basically you return to town, right? And you can TP back and deal with the problem that killed you in the first place, hopefully, This could be like a very useful item in hardcore, I would imagine, because instead of dying, you use this omen instead, which is very interesting. It's a very interesting direction if that's exactly what it is. It says combat area. I'm pretty sure like maps is like a combat area. Just pretty much any like area that has monsters in it is probably a combat area. But maybe it's like a league-oriented combat area. I'm not sure. Basically, omen of refreshment upon reaching 25% life. The omen is consumed and the flask, all your flasks recover all charges. That's really interesting too. Like, basically like if you're kind of in a tough situation and you're kind of, in danger of dying, your flasks literally get all their charges back. So that could be very useful in certain situations, definitely. This one is more unique. On leveling up, the omen is consumed and you gain Soul Eater. Soul Eater is a very fun buff in PoE. The wording on this makes me is suggesting that there is no time limit on the Soul Eater, which could be very fun in like a map situation. But again, how often do you level up? As you get to higher and higher levels in PoE, the leveling definitely slows down a lot. So, it'll be fun to just kind of blast a map with just Soul Eater on all the time, right? Like that'll be like a pretty fun thing to do once you level up. So, some incentives on leveling up, that'll be pretty cool. And then this one, Omen of Fortune, and on using an Orb of Chance on an item, it will become unique if possible. And this omen will be consumed. The wording on that is definitely a little confusing. I'm not sure. I mean, how is it different than like a regular Orb of Chance? And then possibly this omen right here. Oh, this is not even an omen. This is just a Hinokura's Lock. So basically, Hinokura's Lock, this item is going to allow an item to foresee the results of the next currency item used on it. Modifying the item in any way removes the ability to foresee. So basically, from what I understand, is that if you have an Exalted Orb and you want to use it on an item, you can use this item here, and it will show you the stat that the Exalted Orb you have will slam on the item before you use the orb. So basically, you can use this item to avoid some very disastrous crafting situations. I'm by no means a crafting guru, but I'm sure this is very exciting news for the crafting folks out there in PoE. And I'm sure there will be some very interesting strategies that kind of emerge and maybe even change the face of crafting as we know it based off of just this one item. And to kind of wrap things up here, it wouldn't be a Path of Exile League without some new exclusive unique items. For example, this belt right here, basically every 5 seconds you gain one of the following effects for 5 seconds. So basically you always critical strike. Hits against you, always critical strike. Attacks cannot hit you. Attacks against you always hit. Your damage with hits is lucky. Damage of hits against you is lucky. I'm sure there's some items out there that you can combine with this belt right here to make it an absolute beast. Pretty excited to see what people will discover, and really excited to see some creative uses come out of this belt. At face value, it doesn't really look that interesting. It just looks like it has a lot of terrible downsides, and it definitely has a lot of powerful upsides, but the downsides kind of counteract that as of right now. But I'm sure some very creative exiles will find a way to kind of make this work, and hopefully maybe it can be like a really good belt, who knows. And then you have this amulet, Arhongui's Tending. I'm sure I butchered that name. Corel amulet. Basically regen mana per second, increase recovery rate from flask, which is usually like a pretty dead effect in my opinion. Doesn't really do anything interesting. Basically life flats and mana flats used while on low life or mana apply recovery instantly. So basically it's like like an instant heal or an instant mana based on if you're low or not. I mean, again, the effects is not really too important. And then you have this chest piece, which again, it's not really too exciting. Basically, it's saying here's a bunch of life, but you can't have, if there's no life on your other equipped items. So basically, you can use like your chest as like your life slot, and then you can itemize like more damage or like fix your resistances much more easily on your other gear slots. So yeah, pretty utility based stuff here. And basically there you have it, folks. A small look at the PoE League coming up, Trials of the Ancestors. Can't wait to get my hands on it. I'm very excited to try it. And now to kind of address the elephant in the room, I am a new YouTube channel. I'm trying to just trying it out, see how it goes for me, and seeing where it goes. Basically, I want this channel to be educational. Hopefully break down some of the more complex mechanics for newer players. I'm not sure exactly what type of mechanics I'll be tackling. If you have any ideas for me on what the direction of the channel should be and what type of content you folks would like to see, please comment down below. I'm very interested to hear feedback, and I always love feedback because it is very instant and I can improve upon that directly, and I can address it right away, right? Any feedback, any improvements that you might have for the channel. It is a work in progress. I would probably be working on it, changing how the channel looks and everything. Also, I will be streaming on Twitch every day. My Twitch channel name is twitch.tv/Nomind with 2 S's at the end. I'll have a link down below in the description to everything, as well as the league information and everything, where I got all that from. It'll be all down there in the description. And again, please consider subscribing and liking the video. It really helps the YouTube algorithm to kind of really get my face out there, so I can do this type of content more often for you guys. Again, thanks for watching, and see you next time.